Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and I have a fantastic game for you played at the first leg of 2018 Armenian Championship, with the white pieces playing Shant Sargsyan and his opponent is Artur Davtyan. Now let's see what happened on the board. This is a game from round 7 and Sargsyan started the game with c4. He's going for English opening e6, knight f3, d5, b3. White is preparing to flank to his bishop, bishop b2, bishop e7, g3. Now white will also bring on that long diagonal his second bishop, bishop g2. White is like sidestepping the main theoretical lines, probably with the intention of dragging his opponent out of preparations. Actually, nowadays typical setups with doubled flanketed bishops is becoming popular. For example, from the elite players, Vladimir Kramnik is usually choosing similar setup, and then due to his high class is squeezing maximum of the position. c5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, white castles kingside, b6, d4, bishop b7, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, knight d2. Still both players are developing their pieces, nothing special. a3, white is preparing b4, but now a5 is on the board, e3, h6, knight e4, bishop e7, knight d4. We have an equal position with slight advantage for white. Rook c8, rook c1, queen d7, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6, queen g4. Already there is a direct mating threat. The bishop actually on b2 square stands very active. g6, after which this bishop is gaining the total control over the a1 aj diagonal, and actually black has to be very careful. Rook d1, queen b7. Well, it was better to centralize the rook, but instead we see this strange looking queen b7 move. Now comes queen h3, the queen is coming after the pawn on h6, king h7, rook c4, white wants to double up his rooks on c file, rook d8, rook c1, and queen d7. Looks like that black has no definite strategical idea, and with his last two queen moves black lost precious time, and already this can turn out to be dangerous for black. Actually, instead of playing queen d7, it was better to kick away the knight from this active e4 square and then advance on the queen side. But instead, after rook c1, queen d7 was played, and now comes a strong move by Sargsyan, g4. He's trying to organize a quick attack using the vulnerability of this h file, and of course this bishop will support his pieces. b5, black is not paying attention what's going on the king side and is attacking white rook, but instead of moving away his rook, Sargsyan went for this insane g5 move. Of course, right now accepting the rook sacrifice can allow white to checkmate in few moves. White can capture on h6 and then queen h8 checkmate. That's why after g5 black played h5, trying to keep the king side closed, but now comes the light squared bishop which is eyeballing on h5 square. B takes c4, a move after which the game is simply over. It was better to play e5, offer an exchange of queens. If bishop g4, then after the exchange of queens on g4 square and rook takes c6, though white has an advantage, but of course this position is playable. Black could have prolonged the resistance, but instead after bishop f3 we see b takes c4. Black is grabbing the rook on c4, but this is going to be fatal. Right now white is a rook down, and I hope that you haven't forgot that this bishop came on f3 square to capture the pawn. Bishop takes h5. c3, black is blocking the dark squared bishop's diagonal. Of course, capturing on h5 can allow white to checkmate in a few moves. c3 is on the board, but now comes another destructive move. Bishop takes g6, double check. King takes g6. Well, if king g8, then this is simple. Black will get checkmated in 2. After bishop takes g6 check, we see king takes g6, and here we go. We are going to witness a mind-blowing king hunt. Queen h6 check, king f5, queen h7 check, king g4. Where is this king going, guys? h3 check, king f3, knight d2 check. White is offering the knight as well. king e2. Well, if a move like c takes d2, then this is easy. Black king will get checkmated in a few more moves. Let's go back. After knight d2 check, we see king e2, queen h5 check, king d3. This king is trying to hide between white pieces, and queen d1 with queen f1 threat. But actually, instead of playing queen d1, white is missing a quicker checkmate. Queen f3 leads to a checkmate faster. Right now the threat is e4. If e5, then e4 discover check, and then rook takes c3 and queen takes c3 checkmate. Let's go back. After king d3, we see queen d1. As I've already mentioned, the threat is queen f1 check, and knight takes e3. Black is acting against queen f1. But let's just make a random move and see how can queen f1 lead to a checkmate. And then if king takes d1, then this time queen d1 checkmate. In the game after queen d1, we see knight takes e3. And already the knight is no longer protecting the pawn on c3. Now comes rook takes c3 check, king d4, knight f3 double check, king e4. This king is now trying to go back. Rook takes e3 check, king f5, but there is no way out, guys. Queen b1 check. Again, instead of playing queen b1 check, white could mate faster with knight h4 check. Let's just have a quick look how white can finish up black, and then queen g6 checkmate. But after king f5, we see queen b1 check, queen d3. A desperate move. Now comes rook takes d3, bishop e4. The bishop is coming to support black king, and also if it will be possible to win some material. But now comes knight h4 check. The knight is also taking under attack. The g6 square is not allowing black king to escape. King f1, and a very funky move by Sargsyan. Can you find his next move? Actually, he made a move and black resigned. Ready? This time he went for queen c1 check. Actually, bishop c1 is also winning, but this is funky, guys. Look at this final queen sacrifice. After which, as I've already mentioned, black resigned, because if rook takes c1, then bishop takes c1 check, and then f4, and believe it or not, but black king is checkmated. As you know, I really love such games where you're pushing forward your pawn and you're checkmating your opponent's king. Look at this. The king is getting executed in the center of the city, or in the center of the board, as you wish. A very, very impressive game, I think, played by Shant Sargsyan. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this brutal king hunt. Of course, nowadays you won't see such a game every day. This game is like from the romantic era of chess. For more games, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video.